Okay, so now what we're going to do is start hooking up the electrical. Now I've already hooked up the bonding wire to this one. You may or may not have a bonding wire. You should have a bonding wire, and what a bonding wire does is it bonds all the equipment so that they all have the same electrical potential. In other words, if this motor were to get to a point where it was dangerous and it might fry you, the power would go through the bonding wire to, it's bonded to the pool structure itself, and it grounds everything, so that way if you touch the motor you won't get fried. So you should have a bonding wire. If you don't, it's something we can work on at another time. There's a bonding wire lug here at the bottom, and basically all I did is I just laid the wire inside the track and tightened that bolt, and that holds it right in place. So you just use your 1/4 inch nut driver, tighten that right down with that wire laying in there. Now we're going to hook up the main electrical.
Make sure the wires.
So you have your 3 wires here, and you should have 1 green one, which is your ground, and then 2 hot ones, which might be 2 red, 2 black, a red and a black, 2 purple, 2 yellow, who knows. But the green is almost usually, if you had a good electrician that put it in the first place, it'll always have a green one for the ground, and then 2 colored ones for your 2 hots. And you should be running 220. If you're only running 110, then it might be 1 colored wire, which would be red, black, yellow, purple, green, not green, green's ground, and 1 white wire, which would be your other wire. If you're running 110 and you have 1 white wire, 1 colored wire, and if you're not sure, you can always put your voltmeter on these 2 wires while the power's on and test and see if it says 110 or 220. Then inside here, and actually I take it back because they don't even make 110 ones in the size anymore. So it better be 220. But some of the pumps have a way you can change them to 110. This particular one doesn't. On the higher RPMs, they've just gone 220 only. So you're going to take your wires and you're going to put them inside here, and you're going to start feeding them through. And see, I'm going back and forth this way, the same direction as the bend, and that's how you get to go through that bend. You can grab your needle nose pliers and help pull them out this way, so you get in and past the bend here. So grab the 3rd wire, get it going. Okay, now we got them all through there, and then this piece goes in there, and then your knurl nut, it's right there. Pull that around and tighten that down. So this is basically just the opposite of what you did to take it apart. So now we're going to take our 1/4 inch nut driver. We're going to loosen these out. You don't need to remove them all the way. Just loosen them good. And pull those back. Now, some people have connectors on the end of their wires, and they can just push them onto the end of these. We don't have that, so I just take those off and get rid of them. And then our ground wire is going to go right here on the green screw. So, we just take our needle nose pliers. I take my green wire and I pull that up and push it out of the way like that for now. Now we're going to take and I like to put a new end on these because they get fragile from being bent back and forth so many times, so sometimes the end breaks when you're trying to do it. So to save that from happening, just bend the new one on there. We take our nut driver, we're going to just tighten that down good. Whoever's on my phone can wait till I'm done. And then I just kind of push that down a little ways. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. Cut a new piece out. Strip the wire. You don't have to do this, it's just something that I like to do. You can reuse it just the way it was.